Well, hello guys, welcome to episode 100 of the Gone for a Burton Save. This is the final episode, and it is just really a recap of the fantastic 8 seasons that we had at Burton Albion Football Club. As I said, we may pick this up again right at the end of the FM19 cycle, but I don't know for sure. So we're going to give it a bit of a send-off today and have a little trip down memory lane of some of the amazing games that we witnessed and some of the amazing scorelines that we saw and the players that we had in the team. So we're starting, of course, in the only place you can start, the first game of the season. And yeah, this was probably the reason that it was quite difficult for people to get on board with this save, because we'd had the first episode, which was kind of like run through the squad. I'd give them a detailed history of Burton Albion Football Club in my most boring voice, and then they go, all excited into the first game of the season, and there it is, a 0-0 draw against Rochdale. God, that is utterly disappointing. Anyway, that's where we started. Our first win of the whole thing was a 1-0 win away against Gillingham. Lucas Aikens getting the goal, remember him. And actually, at the start of this first season, we were not particularly fantastic. Jamie Allen, look at him there, getting a goal. But we started okay in the month of August. To be fair, we went out the Carabao Cup, the Checkatrade Trophy. This was the only season we were in it, and we didn't do very well. But we were very good at drawing games, not particularly good at winning them. So there was not that many wins in September, October, and then in November things started to change. We did get a win in the Checkatrade Trophy. We had a little bit of a run in the FA Cup. We showed this game against Dagenham. The goalkeeping in that game was utterly dreadful. But 7-0, I think that might be our record. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember, certainly on camera, I can't remember something better than that. It was an absolute drubbing. But look at the green dots. November, fantastic. December, fantastic. January, we didn't lose a game, and we got all the way to the 4th round, and in the end lost to Burnley away from home after a 2-2 draw. If you remember, the one you saw was not a 2-2 draw. I actually had to manipulate that score to get it to 2-2 because the game crashed and we drew. I can't remember what the score was first time round, but we drew. And then, the second round we easily lost. But we continue to have fantastic form, as you can see, all the way through. And I think it was the Portsmouth game here, which was on camera, where we finally won the league. And it was, considering the start, looking here and all the way through to here, it was we played fantastic in that second half of the season. It was hugely pleasing. Let's have a little look at the players who were important there. Go right back to the start. So Grady Diangana, he was an important player for us. Callum Elder, no, Baker Richardson was useless. Kane Spence, these were all okay transfer. It wasn't great, was it, back then? But Grady Diangana was particularly important in what we did there. You'll see here 11 goals in 42 starts. The other person that I remember was particularly good. Let's just pop onto the history records. No. There we go. This is an interesting screen, which I only recently found. I think it was Golden FM's video who found this. So in 2018-19 season, it was Liam Boyce. After I was complaining about him for that entire thing, he scored a load of goals. Grady Dean Garner was really important. Big Marv was really important as well. And Stevie Quinn, yes. Stevie Quinn was utterly fantastic. A really, really impressive start there. So we then found ourselves in the Championship, and things got a lot more tricky. So we started horrifically. Yeah, we had Marek Roddick, who was a very good goalkeeper, actually. A very, very good goalkeeper. Yeah, he was on loan at Fulham, wasn't he? On loan from Fulham. So the start to this was just horrendous. It took us an eternity to figure out what to do. And it was in January I went for a gegenpress, and I think it was probably around here. And we got this important win. Josh Sims, really key player for us in this season. You see the 10 goals, on loan twice, 10 goals in both seasons. Really, really impressive stuff. But yeah, it was in January where things started to improve. We got important wins over Bolton, important wins over Huddersfield, which was critically important. And then we started picking up a good few wins. We were getting more wins than we were losing games, which was really important. And in the end, the last couple of games, we stayed up, I think, against when we played Peterborough, and it didn't matter that we lost 4-1 to Swansea in the final game. We had some battles with Swansea over the years, to be fair. Good win against Walsall. I remember they were really struggling, and it was just fantastic. Let's have a look at the league table from back then. So here you go. This was the league table. So you can see, in the end, Burton stayed up with just a point to spare. It was a nail-biting final episode, but we got just over the line. Let's just have a quick look at the players who made that possible. Players. So this time we signed in Murray Wallace, who actually got into the team of the season. He was important. Overfamey was particularly important. But we got important contributions again from Josh Sims, and Marv Sordell was doing a fantastic job of leading the line. Crispy Crespi there, good to see him in there. We signed him in, and there was some other players here who didn't quite make it. Obi Ubalare, who I bought in with thinking he was going to be great, and he was utterly tripe. But you know, it happens. James Allen again being fantastic. But yeah, it was Murray Wallace. He did very, very well at centre back, and it was a shame to lose him so easily. But you know, that's what happens when you're a little club, eh? So then, after that really, really difficult season, we made some important transfers. We got in the likes of Danny Barlaser. We got in the likes of Jay Da Silva at left back, Fernandez from Manchester City, Sean Williams, who was awful actually, and yes, you're seeing it, Andy Christie. This is where he joined, and just look at that number, £22,000. Let's have a look what this man's worth now. 57 million. I would say that is good business. That is good business. Look at the stats on that bad boy. He is just ridiculous. Right, if we have a look at his development, can we see it from the point at which he was a 19-year-old? So look at the development in him. Look at the development. For increasing composure, agility's gone up to 20. Everything is just brilliant. So that was an important signing. I don't even remember who that was actually. Tristan Nydam. He didn't play a lot of games. No, he didn't. So yeah, going to that season, and the improvements that we made to the squad were particularly important. Fernandez had a great season, if I remember rightly. 18 goals. He was brilliant. Jamie Allen scoring a bunch of goals. Big Marv doing well. I think we still had Big Marv as our forward here, and we were getting some big wins. Had a little bit of a dodgy patch in October, I think you'll agree. Nice little run in the FA Cup, in the end losing out. That was an absolute stonker. I remember that was on that was one of the games I think we had on YouTube. And then finished the season fantastically. So finished the season in second place. It was brilliant. We played brilliantly. I was very happy with that. Very, very happy. To go from almost relegated to promoted to the Premier League was just utterly fantastic. But we were way ahead of ourselves at this point. We were not really good enough to go up, and we relied so much on loan players. So going up to the Premier League, we made some signings. I made quite a lot of signings. So back hair, there he is. He never really quite made it. Danny Ward, very good signing. He did really well in the I think was it a couple of seasons or just one season? I feel he was there for it was just one season. I mean, 91 goals conceded. Christ, I remember him being quite good. Pirelli, the centre back. James Hansen, he was an important player. Can't remember. Captain Corelli's mandolin. Pozzo, who was an utter waste of time, as was Cummings, and there's Alan with an eye. Just for 1.5 million. We made a lot of signings. In the end, we almost got out of it. De Cole there, Iheanacho, he did well. Tyrone Mings was an important loan signing. Jordan Ayew, another very important signing. But in the end, it was not enough to keep us up. And a really tough start. We got that win over West Brom, but it was a tough start. We started to pick up a few more games towards the end, or a few more wins towards the end of the season, but it wasn't fantastic. It really wasn't. Let's just have a look at the who was the top bananas in that season. So here, so Alan, it was Alan with an eye who was the standout player. The signings I made later on made a big difference. Andy Christie hadn't quite come good at that point. He had a decent season, but it was very, very difficult to get anywhere with this squad. There was a lot of dead wood in there, and we had to make some changes. And we did. We made some. We were relegated. Yeah, it was not the worst season. We were just relegated by a single point in the end. Really, really close. Every single season in those first few seasons were something was resting on the last game or the last couple of games. It was fantastic. Really, really good. So then we move into another season in the Championship. So it was a little disappointing to go down, but my God, did we rally. Let's have a look at it. So this is season 22-23. We started with a loss, actually, which was a little disappointing. Actually, let's have a look at the transfers before we do anything else. So 22-23. A bunch of people went out. We really cleared out a bunch of people because there was a lot of wages that just needed to go. The likes of Pirelli leaving, the likes of Pozzo, Reese, he was a decent player. Barlaser, I didn't want him to go, but he went. Bunch of other players. Butson, who was an okay player. Danny Ward moved on, and then you have a little look at the sort of players that came in. Kane Hammond, this was the start of his loan extravaganza, which has still never finished. Matty Smith on loan from Manchester City. Stuart Coleman actually had a good season. There's Alonso, just £550,000, another really solid signing for us. and Ryman, the goalkeeper. Leschert, you'll see there, loaned in that season. We signed him afterwards. But we had a smaller squad. Bepalou, look at him there. A smaller squad, but a much better squad. A much, much better squad. And you can see that as we settled in. It took us a little bit of time just to settle in, with the turnover of players. A lot of players lost. But we were very, very strong. As usual, we lost the last game of the season. We seem to do that every single time. So we finished as champions of the division by a long way. We were comfortable winners. I think there was a period in there, January time, where we were struggling a little. Well, not struggling, but it was a fabulous season. Let's just have a quick look at the players and who was the key players. Barlow's had gone by that point. De Cole, yeah, he was a great player. Ryman was fantastic in goal. Leschert, fantastic. Alan with an eye with 8 goals. Jordan Ayew, brilliant signing, did great for us. And Andy Christie starting to show what he can do, as did Alonso. So those two come into the front at that point, and we were back in the Premier League, which was utterly fantastic. But we had to make some signings. We really had to make some signings so we didn't have the same problems that we had the season before. And we did. We went big in a couple of places. We went big actually across the block. So we brought in. There was a few people who left, as you can see, but they were squad players really. But we brought in Kemp, really important centre back. He didn't stay with us very long. We had to sell him on again, but he was very, very good for us. Depioli, Leschert came in. Durrami, he was the disappointing one. Busquets on a free, what a signing that was. Matty Smith, those two have been fantastic. Walton, Paulo Vitor, he never quite worked out, did he? Oh no, he had a good season. I can't really remember him that well. Koch, yeah, and Quintana. It was a good set of signings, but some of those were really key to us staying up. And what a season we had that first season. What an utterly fantastic season. And you see, we finished 10th. 51 points. Really very, very good. Very, very solid. You look at the schedule that season. Yeah, we started off with an away draw. It took us a little bit of time to get ourselves going, but we started picking up wins. Again, we struggled against the top teams, but we were going through, a decent amount of wins against the teams around us. And we got our first major cup competition semi-final, the first of 3, but lost against Manchester City. Played very, very well in the FA Cup. Beat Chelsea, which was very, very pleasing. And and customary loss at the end of the season, but a very, very solid season. I think you guys will all agree. Looking at goals, Alonso and Christie were absolutely key. Kempf did really well. Busquets came in and was very important. And unfortunately, it was at this point that Ayew was his influence in the team dropped, and we got rid of him. But he was very important in it for a couple of seasons when we were trying to establish ourselves as a little bit more than a championship club. We like Andre Ayew. No, it's not Andre Ayew, is it? I've done it again. It's Jordan. I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know why I can only remember your brother. But what a season that was. And little did we know, it was going to get even better. Let's have a look at our previous season. What a start. Look at this start. We just won. We were top of the league for a fair amount of time. Eventually, the second half of the season let us down a little bit, but this meant that we had qualified for a European competition. First time in Burton Albion history, we sneaked in. It was a really exciting last few games of the season. We lost against Manchester City, but the win against Liverpool was enough to do it. Celebrations were crazy around Burton. Celebrations were crazy around the world. And let's have a look at the transfers we made in at the start of that season, because you can really start to see a difference in what we were doing. The sizes of the transfers that we were bringing in were bigger and bigger. We started to get more comfortable. Will Hughes, hugely important transfer, and he was probably the catalyst to us doing so well. D'Amico came in for just £8 million. He's been outstanding ever since. It's been a Joe Power on a free from Ballymena United, great signing, and a bunch of other players in there, a lot of whom, Shane Duffy, he did great when he came in. Little Tommy Taylor from Dundalk for £1 million, very good signing. Serge Gnabry had a good season, and Dale Fry has been fantastic ever since he joined from Manchester United for a big fee. So we were spending big money, £69 million. Out, we only got rid of £25 million worth of player. Biggest signing out was Pepelu, but we were just kind of making space for some of the guys we brought in. The key players in that period, you see Andy Christie, Marcus Alonso getting the goals, but D'Amico now coming in with a bunch of goals as well. Will Hughes was particularly important. He had a stonking season in that central midfield role. We sold him just a season later, which I think was a mistake. I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made in this whole save. Kane Hammond again there. He's kind of dropped off in recent times. So that brings us on to this season. And this season has been a season of highs and lows. In the league, we've not been so great. And it's purely because of this amazing run we had in the Euro Cup. Starting in Iceland, we went to Athens, we went to Turkey, we went to Azerbaijan, I think. We went to Bulgaria, to Russia, all over the world. We beat Lazio, Olympic Marseille, and in the end we got to the semi-final and lost to Tottenham, which was really very disappointing. Not only that though, we had a run to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, drew 0-0 against Southampton away in the first leg, and it was just when we were in our crappy run of form, which meant in the end we drew 0-0 in the second leg and went out on penalties. We should have won that. That was the best chance we've had for a cup win, and we blew it. We blew it big time. The season was disappointing in that respect, but in many other respects, it was a huge positive. In the end, that season we finished 10th on 52 points, which is just 1 point more than the season 2 years before. But we played a lot of games, an awful lot of games in that period. Yeah, so 62 games for Camera. That's a lot of games. D'Amico scoring heaps of goals. Sammy Davis Jr. came in. He did really well. Andy Christie, Marcus Alonso, lots and lots of goals. The transfers that we did at the start of that season really showed where we'd come then. We brought in Sammy Davis Jr. for £16 million. We brought in Diakate from Spal for £12 million. We brought in Hernandez, the goalkeeper, for £20 million. Rabatti, the striker, for £8 million. Boubacar Kamara for £13 million. We spent £87 million. Admittedly, we recouped £51 million. with getting rid of Kempf and Will Hughes mainly as the main lot that we got from that. But overall, what a wonderful couple of seasons we had, but we failed to qualify. It was the disappointing thing was that we failed to qualify for Europe. So Burton Albion now have gone from a small club in League One to a championship, to a Premier League club, an established Premier League club. We have a national reputation with 3.5 stars. We're rich. We playing in continental competitions. We have won the Sky Bet Championship. We've won Sky Bet League One. We've won League Two, although we didn't do that in recent times. You can see the progress, brilliant progress that we've made over the last few seasons. It's been wonderful. Facilities wise, we now have we should soon have a 35,000 seater stadium in and around Burton. We're sharing with Nottingham Forest at the minute, but our youth facilities are superb. We're doing very well. We've got average junior coaching, average junior recruitment. We're trying to improve all that, but lots and lots of stuff to be very, very pleased about. We've got actually no, it's not our stadium, so it doesn't matter. Right, so this has been a bit of an epic episode. So I was going to kind of go into what's happening in the rest of the footballing world. I might leave that for another point, another time. What I might do is do an episode, so holiday 10 years into the future, and see what happened to Burton after we've left 10 years on, which would be quite interesting. But I hope you've enjoyed this save. I know I have. I know it's been utterly fantastic. I'm really pleased to have managed to pump out 100 videos on this save. It's been brilliant. If you've enjoyed that save, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos, FM19 videos, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in one of the future videos. We've got another FM19 save just around the corner called The Rock. Come and join us for that. But until then, I'm saying goodbye from the Gone for a Burton save, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.